Students, we are on the second question of this exercise, which is about the figure of speeches used in this poem. And the figure of speech is imagery. We have to find those words which shows the images in our mind. Let's see first what is basically the question is. The question is, underline the words and phrases that depicts clear imagery in the poem. So if we see in the poem, woods, the first words, this word represent, we can say, this, while reading these words, we can create a mental picture in our mind that what kind of forest that was. His woods, his house is in the village. This is also a visual, we can say, representation of this village. Fill up with snow. We can easily create a mental picture with this phrase. Between the woods and the frozen lake, we can also create a mental picture of this phrase as well. Darkest evening of the year. Definitely एकदम हमारे mind में एक pure mental picture आ जाती है कि कैसी वो evening होगी. Then we have lovely, dark and deep. So these students, these are the visual imagery words, and there are some auditory as well. कुछ ऐसे इमेजरी भी होते हैं जिनकी साउंड्स, एक तो मेंटल पिक्चर्स जो हैं वो हमें क्रिएट होती है, तो इमेजरी में कभी कभी हमें साउंड्स भी याद आते हैं कि किसी चीज़ को हवा का साउंड है तो वो कैसा साउंड एकदम हमारे वो दिमाग में आ जाता है कि वो साउंड कैसा होगा. तो चलिए देखते हैं कि ऑडिटरी वर्ड्स जो हैं वो यहाँ पे कौन से थे या फ्रेजेस यहाँ पे कौन सी थी. हार्नेस बेल्स. So we can easily infer the sound of bells attached to the harness. Of east wind and downy flakes. So हम सबको पता है कि जब डाउनी फ्लेक्स आसमान से गिर रहे होते हैं तो उसकी आवाज़ जो है, उसकी साउंड जो है, वो फीलिंग्स जो है वो कैसी आ रही होती. तो ये फ्रेजेस एंड वर्ड्स जो है ना वो एक मेंटल पिक्चर्स एंड मेंटल साउंड क्रिएट कर रहे होते हैं. दैट्स व्हाई वी कॉल इट imagery. Students, we are on the third question of our exercise, which is about the alliteration and metaphor, and we have already discussed both of these concepts very thoroughly in the previous video of alliteration and metaphor. The video is in the section of figure of speeches. If you don't know what is metaphor and alliteration, you have to visit that video. Well, let's read the question first. Identify alliterations and metaphor in the poem. First of all, we have to identify the alliterations. So, for your kind information, alliterations are those words, or we can say those phrases where repetition of consonant sounds are there. Like, we can say, if we look at the very first stanza, we can easily find out whose words. Now here, the W, whose and W of woods, both of these words having the same sound. So that's why it is alliteration. In the next line, his house. His house is in the village. Both of these words, H and H, they are having the same sound, but also they are consonant sounds. Keep in mind that the alliteration is the repetition of consonant sounds, not the vowel sounds. Here, he will not see me stopping. The words see and stopping, both of these words having the same consonant sound, that is S. And the first word he is here matching with the last word here. Both of these words having the same sound, H and H. To watch his words fill up with snow. Now here, three words which are having the same consonant sounds, and that is W. Watch, words and with. So students, you can easily see that alliteration is the repetition of consonant sounds in a sentence or in a verse. So all of those we can say words which having the same consonant sound, that is alliteration. My little horse must think it queer. My and must both are having the same alliteration because of the same sounds of M. He gives his harness. He, his and harness. All of these three words are having the same sounds. The only and other, both of these words having the same sound O, which is consonant sound. sound and sweep as well. And the last is the words are lovely, dark and deep. Dark and deep, these both are consonant sounds. So students, I hope you understand the concept of alliteration, and we have easily find out the alliterations given in the poem, or we can say text of the poem. As far as metaphor is concerned, students, we have already discussed the two metaphor, or we can say the extended metaphor used in this poem, which is in the last line of this, last two lines of the poem, and miles to go before I sleep. Here, the miles actually metaphorically representing life, and the sleep is metaphorically representing death. Here, the writer compares the life and death with these two words, smiles and sleep. I hope you understand this question very well. Let's move to the next question.